I think I wanna be you. Deep out of the you. I got a new you. I know I'm really missing you. I owe my life for you, so I'm not crying when I'm done. I know I see changes in the sun, you see all the movies. I think I wanna be you. You got me out of the you. I got a new you. I know I'm really missing you. I owe my life for you, so I'm not crying when I'm done. I got new eyes, it's something you see on the it's on my heart, it's on me right in this church. I close my eyes and I see it. So make it right with this worship. Deep in my heart, I say guilty. They really want to like I'm business. But they circle back to back like popcorn. I feel like I'm singing for Disney. I ain't never even met a pastor. The quiet members don't even know my name. I say you looking like a pastor. Nobody even got a fix with a shame. Everybody acting like this is normal. Some guy don't even say the word before. I might be the only one with that discern. I can hear the preacher watering down the stern. But I was searching for some answers. Cause in my life I was going through some problems, even if I had fixed that. I was looking for somebody to solve them. Time and time again I was let down. Dealing with Christian, they will disappoint you. Put your trust in them. This is my real life testimony. I think I wanna see you. You got me out of you. I got a movie to you. I know I'm really missing you. I owe my life, here's the power, cause you know that I got new eyes, you change the sun, something you see on the movies. I think I wanna see you. You got me out of you. I got a movie to you. I know I'm really missing you. I owe my life, here's the power, cause you know that I got new eyes, you change the sun, something you see on the movies. Since it was like this, we never been completely set free. I studied the law like a school of us. We still in the land of our enemy. Nothing new in the listen. We still complaining we miss the train. Because some in the power of one is right here in the Shemai. If I tell you you are the truth, would you believe? Would you believe? He was in fashion from there. He loved me God to perfect speed. Purpose exactly the phenotype. And now you ain't with no either fight. The moment they know we was here right. Stop mimicking darkness and be the light. We settle for charm change when the world was created for your dominion. So many ladies of life, we gon' pin it back like an onion. There is no fear if you want me up. If you try to lose, you gotta but you got another chance if you repent and make a change. I think I was trying to see you. You got me out of the I got a spirit to see you. I know what's real to see you. I owe my life to you, so I don't I got new eyes, teaching me something you see on the movies. I think I was trying to see you. You got me out of the I got a movie to you. I don't know what's real to see you. I owe my life to you, so I don't I got new eyes, teaching me something you see on the movies. I think I was trying to see you. You got me out of the I got a movie to you. I don't know what's real to see you. I owe my life to you, so I don't I got new eyes, teaching me something you see on the movies. I think I was trying to see you. You got me out of the I got a movie to you. I don't know what's real to see you. I owe my life to you, so I don't I got new eyes, teaching me something you see on the movies.
Shalom, Christian family. Shalom to my people out on YouTube. Shalom, better day. Shalom. You know, it makes feel good, man, to have some people out here with us on Tuesday nights, man. So tonight's about to be crunk like Shabbat, about to be a new Shabbat with a twist. Tonight we'd like to welcome each and every one of you to another episode of Transformation Tuesdays. Tonight we'd like to give a call, Halal, Abba, Hayat, Bahashem, Yeshaya, the precious Barak. For those of you not familiar with the Hebrew, that is all praise unto the Most High, in the name of Christ as well as the Holy Spirit. We'd like to welcome each and every one of you once again to another episode of Transformation Tuesday, where we're striving to transform into the image of the greatest Israelite who ever lived, Yeshaya HaMashiach, who the world will be Jesus Christ. Pray and hope that all is well with you and your families, and pray and hope that you all came on tonight with a desire to learn, a desire to study, and a desire to with an open heart and a willingness to see what this says the Most High. For those who this may be the first time, this is our weekly Q&A session, where we allow people to ask questions concerning their own desire for personal growth. We just ask that you limit those questions to something you're dealing with directly. You know, ask a question about a particular pastor, someone else's belief, whatever the case may be. But we have a lot of dynamic questions that they submitted, diverse questions tonight. Some of the questions you may, you have some children under the age of 18, you might want to, still tonight, so we have to discuss some tough topics here tonight. You understand? But it's all praise. It's a couple years ago. But all praise, just want to address some things that Most High put on the heart of people, because, like we always say, there's no such thing as a dumb question or insignificant question. If you're trying to be better for the Most High, He welcomes that. So first, quickly, a couple of announcements. Number one, we are already promoting the Bible at Black Conference. Shalom, all of y'all, good seeing you all today. We are promoting the Bible at Black Conference, second annual Bible at Black Conference. That's going to take place in at 7-8 Harvest Teacher Ministry in Archdale, North Carolina, September the 10th through 11th. We have a lot of special guests coming through. Registration has been opened up. I have an event page set up for the people that deal with us to be able to get information and register. We can put that on Facebook. For those who are on YouTube, I sent you a message. For those who are watching us through YouTube, if you desire information about the Bible at Black, second annual Bible at Black Conference, please email me at thevandagingham@gmail.com, and we'll make sure we send you the flyer and the link for the registration. Also, for those who are desire to purchase shirts, we thank for those who already purchased shirts. We have the Cash App and everything set up for that. Nick is going to put that in as well. That is $ and Brew. The Brew, the B capitalized, the Brew is capitalized, Restorations. $ Brew Restorations with the B and the R capitalized. And the cost of the shirt is $25 if you buy it through Cash App. For those who are not around here, that will include your shipping and handling. But for those who are around here, it's $20. And we thank for those who have supported us with that. We really appreciate that. Also, Tuesday nights is Better Day tithes and offering. So for those who desire to pay the tithes tonight, the tithes and offerings for the ministry, for the assembly goes to $ Better Day Ministry. For those who want to sow into the those things will go to specifically to our Cash App. Thank you for your support. Thank you for those who are tithing and giving offerings and donations to the church, to the assembly. And thank you for those who have sold into the sometimes some of you don't even realize that when you sow things to us, sometimes we can come right on time, particularly these stuff. So we appreciate for those who have given over years, and we appreciate for those who have a desire to do it at this time. So like I said, for those who are just coming on, this is our weekly Q&A, and we love to get your questions live. But for those who would like to remain anonymous, if you're watching via Facebook, you can send me a question through Messenger. For those who are watching via YouTube, you can send me a message at thevandagingham@gmail.com. We will ask those questions in the order in which they can. So tonight's foundation is going to come from Romans the 12th chapter and Isaiah 28. Romans the 12th chapter and Isaiah 28. Romans 12th chapter, let's start there at verse 1.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice,
right?
Holy,
acceptable
unto God, which is your reasonable service.
This is our obligation or burden. This is our reasonable service. Go ahead.
And be not conformed to this world.
Regardless of what the climate is, the political climate, the political correctness that's being preached around here, the Most High tells His servants, His children to be what? We don't want to be like the rest of the world. Go ahead. But be ye transformed. Good. Acceptable. That's what we're supposed to do. And this is what the whole purpose behind Transformation Tuesday, so that we can be transformed from the way the world thinks, the way we thought, the way our community thinks, and the way our religion has put in us, to transform into the image of the greatest Israelite who ever lived, Yeshua HaMashiach, or the world known to be Jesus the Christ. Isaiah 28. Isaiah 28, deep verse 8 there.
For all tables,
Verse 9.
whom shall he teach knowledge?
Whom shall he teach knowledge?
And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? To them that are weaned from the milk,
From them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Now, why is that important? And I didn't do this last week, but I want to do this tonight. Because a lot of people think that you can just learn the basic things and that's going to be good enough. But that's not how the Most High asks us to be. Hold your place there and go to Hebrews, the 5th chapter. I didn't do this before, but I want to do this tonight. I don't know why I feel led to, but I want to do this tonight. Because the Most High said the only way you're going to understand me is that you'll be weaned from the milk and you no longer drawn from the breast, which means that you're not going to be depending upon man to give you full understanding anymore, even though man has been heavily sent to assist you. The apostle, the prophet, the teacher, the pastor, and the evangelist are called to edify and mature the body. But that should not be the sole catalyst behind the relationship that you have with the Most High. How do we know that? Hebrews 5, and look at verse 12.
When the time you ought to be teachers.
When the time comes that you ought to be teachers, some of you that's been in church your whole entire life. How is it that someone asks you about the Bible and you got to call your pastor? You proclaiming that you know so much about the Bible, when people ask you serious questions, you got to say, hold up, let me call somebody. And this has ruffled the feathers of a lot of people that I've been dealing with over the years because they try to use me and Pete for their battling rings. You hear inboxes going on these Israelite groups, running your mouth, watching videos and up in the conversations, then you get boxed into a corner, and then you want to come and ask us to bail you out of it. And we never told you to be over there running your mouth and dealing with stuff in the first place. Okay? If you don't see us doing it, why are you doing it? Right? So they go over there, they're doing that. He said, for when you ought to be teachers, go ahead. But you have need to want to teach you again. And unfortunately, this is for some people who have titles in the church. You really need to be taught again. Because your understanding is based on a denomination and not the Bible. You need to be taught again, go ahead. Right? So you got to go back to the breast. You got need of milk and not strong meat. Go ahead. For he is a babe. There's a lot of 40, 50, 60-year-old babies around, calling themselves apostles and prophets. Babes. You understand? Verse 14.
The strong meat belonging to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
To discern both good and evil. This is the reason why you're having some people making decisions and alliances with the evil ones and not knowing the difference. You understand? Now, let's go back. We can understand it back to Isaiah 28. And read that Isaiah 28 now again.
Whom shall he teach knowledge?
So whom shall the Most High be able to teach knowledge? Him that is weaned from the milk and no longer drawn from the breast. Go ahead. Go ahead. Right? Hear a little and dare a little. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have an understanding of what they call an interpretation of the Bible verse, and you can't prove that with the Bible, your interpretation is wrong. Okay? That's how you know whether you're right or not. All right? So this is why we transform into the image of the greatest Israelite who ever lived, Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world knows to be Jesus the Christ. It's not nothing to be ashamed of. It's not nothing to be feel bad about. This is a road that we all had to walk. All right? Now, first question for tonight. There's a lot of speculation and discussion these days concerning the mark of the beast, the Antichrist, and the four beasts in the book of Daniel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to go ahead and warn you that tonight we have a lot of questions concerning the Antichrist. I don't know how this happened, but the Antichrist is on the mind of everybody. And I know really what it is, to be honest with you, it's spirit. Because Christianity told you, through the rapture doctrine, that by the time stuff get bad, you'll be gone. Stuff is bad, and you're still here. And trust me, it's only going to get worse. So some of you right now are waiting on the Antichrist more than you're waiting on Jesus. And that guy's never coming, because he doesn't exist. We're going to address that later on tonight. So I'm going to read that again. So there's a lot of speculation and discussion these days concerning the mark of the beast, the Antichrist, and the four beasts in the book of Daniel. Are all these things connected? Any thoughts on who the Antichrist is? Any thoughts on who the four beasts are? Real quick, yes, I do. Number one, because I'm going to answer this question and another question tonight, I'm only going to say this real quickly first. There is no Antichrist. There is no bad boogeyman that's going to come and rule the world. That's a lie straight from the pits of hell. Okay? So I'm going to leave that part of the question at that, and we will deal with that later on tonight. Number two, the first part of the question was, are all these things connected? Yes, they are. The four beasts. The four beasts of Daniel can be divided in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter correctly, Daniel 7. And the four beasts are, I think it's Daniel 7. And the four beasts are the four, And the four beasts are, ladies and gentlemen, the four nations or empires that will send Israel or Judah into captivity. Number one, Babylon. Number two, Medes and the Persians. Number three, Alexander the Great along with the Grecians. Number four, Rome. These are the four nations in which Israel was served up until the return of the Lord of Jesus Christ. Of course, you know that we were delivered out of Babylon when the Medes and the Persians defeated Babylon, and we went up under them. So at that time, on the time of Nehemiah, we was allowed to return back to Jerusalem, rebuild the wall, and was at peace for a small period of time. Then came Alexander the Great and his boys, the Grecians, and they took us down. He was able to run them out eventually. Then came Rome. And we've been dealing with Rome one way or another till this day. Now, we have a lesson where we break all of this down. And because we have a lot of questions tonight, I'm not going to go into that. But I will tell you where you can find the detailed answers for all these things. We have a lesson called The Romans Are Coming, The Romans Are Coming. If you look that lesson up on YouTube or video or on Facebook, all the answers that you see and more will be found. That is a very extensive lesson, okay? But how is it connected to the mark of the beast? I will answer that. That fourth beast, which is Rome, will be the ones who will implement the mark of the beast. Now, there's a lot of conversation out here saying, was the Babylon juice, the AKA the COVID-19 vaccine, is that the mark of the beast? No, it is not. But the exercise and the, I can call it the program that was ran last year, that was 2020, is what we call the Mark of the Beast basic training. Those who willingly took the Babylon juice, 9 times out of 10, you're going to take the Mark of the Beast. And I know that may offend some of you because you don't understand how you've been manipulated and socially programmed to think this way. But ladies and gentlemen, in the same manner right now, when they're telling you, hey, you can't get into this concert unless you have the juice. Unfortunately, I've heard that some churches are telling their members, you can't come back to here unless you have the jab. What verse is that? Standing at what you say, the Most High door with a thermometer, checking vaccine cards. Those guys will be in line early that morning for the Mark of the Beast. They're going. You understand? Now, we've had extensive conversations about the Babylon juice. We tried to explain that to people. But too many of our videos are getting took down. People are attacking us, but we don't care about the attacks. But we're more so concerned with this information that people want to hear being taken away because people are not all either reporting our videos or they are examining our videos. When you say certain words, you go into the algorithm and they take your video down. We got to get this information out for the people. So if you want some clear understanding with those things, we can address those things offline. This is why we have an assembly. There's certain things that we talk about amongst us that we're not going to talk about the rest of you because some of you, I don't trust you. And I got too many people depending upon me to put my life in danger for those who are. Hey, I'm sorry. No way. But we have real conversations here every day. We set up ourselves. And some of you guys are not willing to accept what you have done or considering to do. So that's how it's all connected. But I would suggest that you go watch the lesson The Romans are coming. The Romans are coming. Okay? And that will break down who the Romans are and who their God is. You're going to be surprised. And when they say one nation under God, they meant that. But his name ain't a higher. All right? Now, question number two. Did the prophets have a full understanding of the prophecies? Did the prophets have a full understanding of the prophecies? So what they're asking is, when the prophets made prophecies or prophesied throughout the Bible, did they fully understand exactly what they were seeing or what they were declaring? And as one who has been given a word of knowledge and a word of wisdom throughout my role with the Most High, I can tell you with all confidence, no, they don't know. When the Most High tells you to declare something and say something, when you see what He say, you may only see in part or know it part. You're not going to be able to fully understand. Because some of the things, like for instance, when John is prophesying the things in Revelations, which is happening today, he had no way of being able to fully understand and understand what he was seeing today. You understand? So let's go to 1 Corinthians 13. Paul addresses that. But no, they did not know all. So you got to be careful. You got to understand they got familiar spirits out here. And like for instance, like I try to tell people, if you go into Numbers, when you hear about Balaam, Balaam was the prophet. And if you got to do Jasher, then you know Balaam was rocking with Egypt and Cush well before this, when he got down with Moab. So Balaam been a problem with Israel was dealing with for a long time. And Balaam had all given prophecy to be able to declare and decree. And he was on the other side. So you got to be careful when somebody comes and tell you, I know your social security number, I can tell you what your address is. Listen, the devil can do a lot of different things. I mean, it doesn't take that much, y'all, to prophesy. These guys understand it. I can go to you and say, Patrick, the Lord is telling me right now, you done had some rough days. He told me to tell you, those rough days are about to come to an end. That's anybody. You don't have to cry sometimes, have you? You don't have just a sleepless night, have you? Who has it? You recently had to deal with some severe pain, baby. Who has it? So you can say these words like that, and people hang on the words, and then they start answering and telling them, and I've seen people go with it. So you have to be careful of these guys, man. Don't get caught up in that stuff. 1 Corinthians 13. You have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that when our ancestors, when they were dealing with the Most High, prior to Hamashiach, no one had the Ruach. The Ruach only came on 3 people: the king, the priests, and the prophets. And it only remained for a certain amount of time while they were doing the work of the Most High. After that, the Ruach was lifted. Now, everybody has the Ruach. Those who believe in the Most High, except the Son, of course. You understand? So now the Most High is not going to tell somebody else something about your life before he tells you. The prophet now is confirming. He don't tell you nothing new. The only time you get something anywhere similar to that is when a man y'all gets a word of what they call a word of wisdom or word of knowledge, where I can come and say to you something that you need to do right now. You may not need to know this, but you may not know that a particular decision needs to be made, but it's still going to be dealing with something in the realms of what you've already been dealing with. You ain't going to be no, hey, The Lord told me to tell you to move to Houston, Texas. And he ain't told you that. You go to Houston, Texas, you want to. Ain't no telling what's waiting on you now. I can tell you what's waiting on you. That's what's waiting on you. All right. What was that in 1 Corinthians 13? Give verse 9 to 10.
We know in part,
but we know in part,
and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away.
See that? So when the Most High says to Shia, all will be done away. But right now, read that verse 9 again. It says, what? For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. That's it. So the prophets are not they didn't know everything. But they only declare what was given to them in part. And if they got, I'm telling you right now, if somebody got all the answers, they have none of the answers. I'm gonna tell you straight like that. They have all the answers. They have none of the answers. All right. All right. We're moving steady along. We are on question number 3. For those who are with us now, if you have a question that you would like to ask, please don't hesitate to put it in the chat. You can send it to me in Messenger if you're on Facebook, or you can send it to me via thevanaegan@gmail.com. Now you shy? Somebody said shalom. All right. What about now, y'all? Sometimes, every now and then, this microphone will go in and out on YouTube. So just be patient with it, because sometimes it don't actually pick up the direct sound that we're saying. But if you miss anything or whatever because of me, just send it, and we'll make sure that we answer it. We'll make sure that we address it. I don't know why my chat ain't working on the screen already. You might want to keep that up so you can see the post. Sound a little messed up. Shalom, Deuce. All right. Well, hopefully, like I said, sometimes it'll do that. It won't come out, it won't come out. But if you miss something in particular, just hit us up and we'll make sure we clarify. All right. So we'll get question number 3. Oh boy. Here we go. Is masturbation a sin? If so, where is it in the Bible? Is masturbation a sin? If so, where is it in the Bible? Now, this is a common thing. And it's crazy how a lot of these questions tonight are connected to other questions. It's kind of crazy because we're going to have a question dealing with Judah and his sons, and some of the things that were taught related to what happened with Judah's sons. You will hear some people use that to teach about the act of masturbation. But that's not what it was. And so, but you couldn't know that if you didn't have the other records to understand what really happened that day. So I was talking to someone about that today, who was saying that the fact that if you look at those verses based on what was said, it's kind of understandable that you took that from that. But when you have the other records to know what actually happened, that wasn't talking about masturbation at all. But is it a sin? Yes. Now, you're not going to find a scripture that says, "Thou shalt not touch the box." Thou shalt not touch the hot spot. Okay? You're not going to find a scripture that's going to say specifically, thou shalt not yank upon thy member. Okay? You understand? It's not going to say that. You understand? Okay. It's not going to say that. Right? Let's go to Matthew 5. You gotta say it in King James Version. Thou shalt not touch your member. Now, we're done sin here today, with the exception of a few. We thank the Most High graciously. And Spirit that beloved sweet came at the right time. I went back, Elder had said that. Okay. All right. But in all seriousness, we know that, and let's be real, everyone in one way or most people, and I can't say everything. Most times has some people have walked a righteous life since birth as far as that area is concerned. And I salute them for those who have, but many of us have fallen in that area of sexual immorality. And we all know, if we're being totally honest, that act cannot be fully fulfilled unless it is based on a thought process of somewhere you've been or you want to go. Okay. You either have been down that road or you want to go down that road. Okay? So that's what the ultimate issue is. So let's go to Matthew 5. I need you to hold that and get 1 Corinthians 6. Now, the counter argument to that is what was told back in the day. Hey, you do that, right? That keep it from going all the way. You know how they say marijuana is a gateway drug? Well, let me tell you right now, masturbation is a gateway to fornication. Okay? That's just what it all boils down to. Because you're not going to be able to continue to be fulfilled in that area for so long. Your body will eventually want more. You can sit on the porch, you can see the people playing, and you're supposed to stand at the steps, and you're going to look. And next thing you know, you're going to be in the yard playing. You're going to be all in the mud puddles before it's over. That's the way it works. Next thing to do is, don't come outside. Close the door, shut down, close the curtains, and pull the shades down. Right? Now, Matthew 5, starting at verse 27.
You have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. Go ahead.
I say to you that
hold up now, look up on the word. All a man, because you women always want equality, right? You don't need to be included. We want to make sure we include everybody here tonight, right? You know what I'm saying? Y'all work it, but that's a whole other lesson another time. All count. Go ahead. Right? Already in his heart. Now, so what does this do right here? This erases This erases the lusting that we do by looking at things on television, Instagram, whatever videos or pictures that we find ourselves being entertained by. Some of us have had some fun times in our head already. Now, why did Yeshua say this? Because what he's saying is this: the only reason for many people, that they haven't done a certain thing is because there was no opportunity to do a certain thing. It's not about desire, it's about opportunity. And the Most High is really about your heart in the thing. Because if it was an opportunity came around, you probably would go the way. So Yeshua said, if you've done it in your mind, you've already committed the act for other side. That's him. Then about me. So that means, remember I said, this act can either be where you want to go or where you've already been, right? So Yeshua said, every time you think about it, and let me put this out here because we had addressed this one time before, had to go back and clarify this to somebody. Let me look close to the camera when I say this. That doesn't mean, well, since I thought about it, I might as well go ahead and do it. Well, you said that I already committed, so hey, I might as well. No. It's a shame that we have to clarify that. I've been thinking about it for the last 6 months. You said I said it right, I'm bad off. Might as well say, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go all the way. No. Right? Because he gives us the understanding of what to do when this arises. Verse 30? So it's like verse 29.
If the right eye offend thee, pluck it out.
So what he's saying is, if your right eye offend thee, pluck it out. Is he telling you to take your eye out of your head? No. Read the rest of what he's saying.
Cast it from thee,
right?
For it is proper for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not thy whole body should be cast in the hell.
Cast into where?
Cast in the hell.
Cast into where?
Cast into hell.
Cast into hell. Yeshua said, if you don't stop this, you're going to hell. Not Nevada. Because what they say, D? They say, Nevada make us feel like we going to hell. Ain't that what they say? I ain't make you feel like nothing. The king said that. He's the one making you feel that way. And you should be glad that you're feeling that way. And not be turned over to a reprobated mind. You better thank the Most High that your conscience is on fire. That means you still have a chance. Because when you get out here to these guys and have these parades, they dancing all the way to hell. Don't even know it. So what does that mean by taking the right eye that may offend you? That means whatever it is that's causing the problem, remove it. If you're having a conversation with somebody you know you still have that type of thought pattern with, stop talking to them. If you listen, I'm gonna go ahead and be transparent with you. This is me. Y'all remember the movie Deja Vu with Denzel Washington? Listen, when that movie came out in the theaters, when it was coming on the commercial and they was advertising, the first time I seen it, I didn't know what the movie was about. I didn't know who was in it. All I saw was old girl in the movie when she turns around that scene in the mirror and she turns back and looks. I made up in my mind that day, I ain't going to see this movie. I didn't care what it was about. She was in it, going to see it. That's a shame. But it's a fact. Didn't matter. Clueless is one of the wackiest movies ever made. But because Stacey Dash was in it, I've watched that movie 1,000 times. This is what happens. So you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, If there's things that make you think contrary of what you need to be doing, thinking, get it out of your life. Watch this. Go to 1 Corinthians 6. And no, I don't still watch Clueless for that. You put that out there. If you come by my house and Clueless is on, and it just happened to be on, I'm not watching this dash. This dash, that would take a lot of space. Doesn't matter how far you are. I wanted to put that out. 1 Corinthians 6, verse 19.
Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost?
Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost? Go ahead.
Which is in you?
Which is where?
Which is in you?
Which is in where?
Which is in you?
Uh-huh.
Which you have of God and not your own.
So you have to understand this, that your body don't belong to you. So verse 20 says what?
When you are bought with a price.
You have been bought with a price, that is the blood of Yeshua.
Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's.
Now, ask yourself this, brother. In the act of masturbation, is it possible to be glorifying the Most High at that time? We have to be real. We ain't thinking about no glory. Okay? 1 Thessalonians 4. First Thessalonians 4. Start at verse 1.
Furthermore, then we beseech you, brethren, and exhort you by the Lord Jesus, that as ye have received of us how ye ought to walk and to please God, ye would abound more and more.
So he said, listen, I'm writing this letter so I can show you how to walk, how to live, so that your actions and your lifestyle will be pleasing unto the Most High. Go ahead.
We know what commandments we gave you by the Lord Jesus. For this is the will of God,
right?
Even your sanctification, that you should abstain from fornication.
Yes, you should do what?
Abstain from fornication.
Go ahead.
That everyone of you should know how to process his vessel in sanctification and honor.
To possess your vessel in sanctification and honor. You can't do that if you're doing that. And look what he said in verse 5.
Not in the lust of concupiscence.
Concupiscence is the strong sexual immorality. That's what that word means. Go ahead.
Even as the Gentiles.
Even as the who?
Even as the Gentiles.
Which know not the Most High. Y'all, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is not cool with that. Y'all seen this? Romans 13 and 14. Write it out.
When ye put on the Lord Jesus Christ and make not provision for the flesh.
You said what?
And make not provision for the flesh.
Make not provision for the flesh.
To fulfill the lust thereof.
To fulfill the lust thereof. That was the same book. I'm a dresser. Get myself in the right mood. So you better take that Zane book and burn it and put a Bible in it. Okay? I'm being funny with it, ladies and gentlemen, but we've all struggled with this. And as we're being the children of Israel, sons and daughters of the Most High, the things that we have always found to be innocent or not that bad, we can no longer be a part of it. Okay? Huh? It's a hard road, but it's worth it. No pun intended. What's wrong with you? All right, next question. We ain't got no questions submitted yet. All right, cool. Moving on fast now. Next question. How do you know if the Most High is punishing you or you're being attacked by Satan? How do you know if the Most High is punishing you or if you're being attacked by Satan? Very, very good question. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 11. I need you to hold that and get to Sirach, the 5th chapter. And for those who don't have an apocrypha, you can go to, if you have a separate laptop, phone, or tablet, go to Google, type in SIRACH, chapter 5. That's a very good question, because it's one that has plagued the mind of so many. Now, Dick, I think it's very important. Let's go to Amos 3 real quick, because I've seen this, and I don't know how I've been in this position for the last 2 months, where I've been around people watching TV that they saw, or I've been just listening to conversations of those who follow the religion of Christianity. And it's amazing to me that lately you've been hearing a lot about, well, if there's evil going on, you know it ain't God, because God don't do no evil. Nothing evil comes from the Most High. Okay. He's a God of love. Okay. All right. So let's settle that first. Let's settle that first. Let's go straight to it. Amos 3 and 6.
So the trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid.
So what happens, ladies and gentlemen, is that the Most High is always blowing the trumpet. He has his sons and his daughters declaring his truth throughout this earth always. Problem is that the majority of the people are either ignoring or ridiculing or in many ways discrediting and devaluing what is coming forth from his sons and daughters. So that's the problem. Israelites were blowing the trumpet forever before this whole thing happened last year. The majority of people just laughed. So the trumpet has always been blown. The trumpet is being blown now. I'm trying to warn our people that is of our community, the so-called black man, the so-called African man, American man, to warn them you're not black, you're not an African American, you're not a citizen, you're not a Republican, you're not a Democrat, you're not a Christian, you're not a Baptist, but you're from the tribe of Judah, from the nation of Israel. The trumpet is being blown, so our people wake up, but they already knowing it. So the trumpet is being blown, go ahead.
And the people be not afraid. So there be evil in the city.
Shall there be what?
Evil in the city.
Evil in the city. And the Most High had not done it. This is the Bible. Go to Isaiah 45, verse 7. Precept upon precept, huh? Watch this. Isaiah 45, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and what? And what? I, the Most High, does all these things. That's how the devil, the Most High created the devil. How he gonna create? He ain't created nothing. Y'all giving this guy too much credit. He's a bum. He's a defeated foe. So that's the problem. You don't know. That's largely why this question is being asked. Not today, but I'm talking about as a whole. People ask themselves, yo, is the devil, I'm gonna be punished? Most people always say, oh, it's the devil. I lost my house, it's the devil. Wife went away, it's the devil. No, it's not. So 1 Corinthians 11, this is how I'm gonna show you how to be able to tell the difference between who it is that's moving in your life. 1 Corinthians 11, read verse 31 and 32. For we judge ourselves. Now, in the process of judging yourself, you can't judge yourself based off of your criteria. The only film of judgment is the Torah. Now, if you believe that the law is done away with, it's going to be really difficult to judge yourself. If you believe that it doesn't make a difference whether you keep the Sabbath or not, it's going to be hard to judge yourself. If you think that it's okay to chase out the money and do people any kind of way just so you can get yours, it's going to be a problem. So that's where it all boils down, that if you judge yourself, it will keep you from being judged. Go ahead. But when we are judged by the Most High, right? So, in those times where the Most High does punish us, He's doing that so that we don't go down with the ship. You see, Noah has an ark that we're getting on, and the devil has a boat that's sinking. It's two ships. Each one requires an emission. Most High's ark requires law, statute, commandments, and the blood of Yeshua. His boat, come as you are. We accept everyone. See that? Now, that's the first thing. You got to judge yourself. Now, let's go to Sirach 5. Go to Sirach 5. And they start there at verse 4.
Say not, I have sinned, and what harm has happened unto me? For the Lord is long suffering. He will in no wise let thee go.
Ladies and gentlemen, because of the teachings of Christianity, the majority of the world believe that you can do anything you want to, and because Jesus has paid it all, everything is going to be okay. Some of you right now are going through what you're going through strictly because you have never repented a day in your life. Everything that happened is someone else's fault. You won't forgive people. You won't change. You're still cussing folks out. You're still lying. Still running game. Say Shalom. Please get that Ecclesiastes 8:13 real quick. Watch this. Before you read that Ecclesiastes 8:13, 8 and 11, read that Sirach 5 and 4 again.
Say not, I have sinned, and what harm has happened unto me?
So you're saying I've sinned according to you, because most people don't even believe that what they're doing is sin because they don't know that Torah is the divine sin, 1 John 3 and 4, the transgression of the law. So they don't even know. But some of you are aware that these things are wrong and you keep doing it. You're cheating on your wife, you're cheating on your husband, You're doing falsehood on your job. Getting paid for things that you shouldn't be getting paid for. You know, you're throwing rocks, hiding your hands, making it difficult for people at your job, stealing positions, lying, all type of hustlers things that you don't think these things are significant. Most out looking at all of it. And you think you're getting away with it because your bank account's okay and you got to do rims and you just got to prove for the loan to get you the house and your business is flourishing when you're overcharging people and underpaying your workers. When you won't do nothing for nobody. When you caught up in your own personal highlight reels. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Watch this.
Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily.
Because the judgment for sin is not executed speedily anymore. Because if it was under the law, most of us would have been dead a long time ago. But because it's not speedily, go ahead.
Therefore, the whole of is fully set to do evil.
Now it's fully set to do evil because we never get paid for it. Everybody knows a child that never got whooped. They do whatever they want to do. I'm telling you, as a teacher, they used to be a teacher and a counselor in school. It is nothing worse than dealing with a child that doesn't fear what you call their parents. And nothing more difficult with dealing with people in this earth that don't fear the Most High. Because they don't care. They're willing to do anything. Now go back to Sirach 5. Watch this. So just because he's long-suffering, don't think that he's going to let it ride. Verse 5. Propitiation means payment. Concerning the payment for the acts in which you're done, go ahead. Don't be out there thinking that you can just keep on sinning. You didn't get paid for the first one, so you currently, let me add that in, and you think because I got away with this, I'm going to add something else. Verse 6.
You say that his mercy is great.
Oh, his mercy is great.
He will be pacified for the multitude of our sins.
You know, God's a God of love. Right? I can keep fornicating and doing whatever I want to do because I'm working my way through it. Jesus ain't done with me yet. You know, like they say. The truth of the matter is he ain't started with most of you. But you never even bowed your knee yet. Going to church don't mean that you have a relationship with God. This is why he says in Matthew 7, there are going to be many that prophesied in my name, that miracles in my name, cast out devils in my name, and I'm going to tell them, I never knew you. I always try to give the example, you know, on Facebook, right? If you're in a relationship with somebody and you want to broadcast it, you have to send them a request in order to say, Johnny's in a relationship with Mary or Mary is married to Tom. I would love to find out how many of you, if you sent Yeshua or sent Jesus a request on Facebook to say that you're in a relationship with him, how many of them he would actually accept? Would he decline your request? Just only you know that. Go get verse 8. No, verse 7. No, read the verse 6. Yeah, read that.
You see that his mercy is great, he will be pacified for the multitude of our sins.
Right?
For mercy and wrath come from him.
For mercy and wrath come from him. Go ahead.
And his mercy blesses our sins.
Once again, who is sinners 1 John 3 and 4. Sin is the transgression of the law. No matter how you see yourself, no matter what you see when you look in that mirror, if you're not following law, statutes, commandments, according to the Most High, you are a sinner. Period. No gray areas here. There's no room for interpretation. Either you follow the law or you're not. Watch this. Verse 7.
Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord.
So make no tarrying. Don't waste no time. If this is you who are hearing this tonight, get on your knees now. Repent now. Not to me, because I can't do nothing for you. I'm just the messenger that he sent to save you. Because he didn't allow you to be here because he didn't love you. Hold on. Keep John 3 and 17. I want to make sure we put this out here for someone that may hear this right now and think you're being attacked. You don't know what this means at this moment right now. This is a moment to prove how much the Most High loves you. John 3 and 17. Watch this.
For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world.
He didn't send it to his children to condemn them, but to what? That his children through him might be saved. You're not being attacked. He's throwing the fishing line to you, my brother. He's throwing the rescue raft to you, my sister. That condemnation, that guilt that you feel right now is your own flesh saying, I need to change. If that's you tonight, hit us up after this Q&A. And we will walk you through this thing hand in hand. You understand? Let's go back to Sirach. I just wanted to put that out there. Read that verse 7 again.
Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord.
And
put not off from day to day.
Right?
For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth. And in thy security,
when you think it's all good, you shall be destroyed. What else? And perish in the day of vengeance. So if you're judging yourself based on that law, you know that if I'm not keeping it, what's happening to me is the Most High, not the government. Let's take this thing a little deeper. Some of you right now are sick. You've been sick and hurting for a long time. You've been praying, and the church been laying hands, and everybody been declaring, you're going to get healed, and nothing has changed. And you're doubting the Most High. But you didn't know that sin played a part in there too, did you? Let's go to Sirach 38. So, once again, the religion of Christianity make you think every time something bad happens, it has to be the devil. I really wish we could go through the Testaments deep and show all those different elements, how they connect to sin. We gotta have to break that down one day and do a lesson on that. Because I'm telling you right there, that might get us assassinated. Bro, we can show you in the Testament that every particular element that we're dealing with as a people connects back to a sin. Every one of them. The pharmaceutical companies may come for us on that. That's gonna rob them for all their money. We bring that out. Watch this. Sirach 38. Start at verse 1.
Honor a physician what the honor due unto him for the uses which we may have of him. Mm-hmm. The Lord has created.
So listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're not telling you not to go to the doctor. But we also telling you not to follow the doctor's words over the Most High's words. So this whole idea of, oh man, we ain't telling you to be doing one extreme or another. We ain't telling you to be way out here where you don't ever go to the doctor, and you sit here and broke your leg out in a car accident, and you make your way back home to myself, I'm gonna leave it the Most High for healing. Oh, that's madness. But just because you got a stuffy nose and a fever, that don't mean that you go down there and get the Babylon juice either. I seen a guy say that on the news the other day, dog. It broke my heart. Young Judah. It was Father's Day weekend, and said I woke up with a stuffy nose, and I knew I was going home, and I had a little sore throat. So I came down here. They showed him in the Bojangles line down there up in Charlotte. So I just wanted to go ahead and, make sure I don't take nothing home to my parents. He only believed that because the news told him that. He could have just went there and got an Alka-Seltzer Plus out of the convenience store and would have been straight. But because the prophet Fauci told him, hey, you're going to kill you and your family, let me go get the Babylon juice. Which guarantees he took something home to his family. All of a sudden, when the whole world started getting the Babylon juice, oh, there's a new strand now. I bet it is. I bet it is. I bet it is. Not a lesson for another time. Number 2. Verse 2.
For the Most High,
From where?
the Most High from the hill.
From where? Come here to deep.
For the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
The skill of the physician shall look at his head, and the son of great men shall be.
So when you got a good doctor, he's gonna get admiration. There's some good doctors out here, good nurses out there that's giving their life to help people. Don't get it twisted. But notice, there's only certain ones that get divorced these days. Right? Watch this. Verse 4.
The Lord has created medicines out of the earth.
Hold up! Whoa! Hold up! He said he created medicine where?
The Most High has created medicines out of the earth.
No, out of the lab. From science. Uh-huh. And he that is what? And he that is wise. Salah. Every medicine, every element, every issue that we have in our bodies, the Most High got a medicine that grows from the earth. You don't go and take poison for sickness. Now I know this is going away from the question, but I want to make sure I address this while we're here. Because a lot of you are dealing with things and then they're pumping this whole thing of mental health now. No. Listen, how was it that 5 years ago they put all these so-called antidepressants out there, and now on TV you say, well, if you took the antidepressants, you're probably dealing with this now. Your hand is twitching and your body is shaking. Here's another medicine for that. Oh, by the way, if you take this antidepressant, you're probably still going to be depressed. So along with that antidepressant, take this. And the truth of the matter, the reason you're depressed, you don't know what it is. Read that again. Chapter and verse.
Surah 38, verse 4. The Lord has created medicines out of the earth.
Right?
He that is wise will not abhor them.
Go ahead.
Was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known?
Mm-hmm.
And he has given men skill that he might be honored in his marvelous works.
So he's given men skill, doctors, to be able to take that is bad and to fix it by his hands, by his skill that he has given them. But look at this. Verse 8, chapter 7, verse 7.
With such doth he heal men and taketh away their pain.
Mm-hmm.
With such doth the apothecary make a confection,
Right.
and of his works there is no end.
Right.
And from him is peace all over the earth.
This is what I need y'all to see. Look at this, verse 9.
My son, in thy sickness be not negligent, and pray unto the Lord, he will make thee whole.
Read that again.
My son,
In that sickness,
be not negligent,
uh-huh.
pray unto the Lord.
Now go and do what the CDC says. Go get a Babylon juice. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Watch this though.
Leave off from sin.
He said, what?
Leave off from sin.
He said, what? Pete?
Leave off from sin.
Leave all from sin. So if you're sick, the Most High said, pray to me and stop breaking my law. Oh Lord, my blood pressure so high. What's he for dinner today? Pork chops, sausage. Look how big I am. When I go to the doctor, they say, man, you gotta be the most healthiest big person I've ever seen in my life. I said, man, I don't want no problem, man. No high blood pressure, no diabetes. Just a lot of beef. And the ladies in my facility is helping me with that now. Sliced avocados and salads now, man. Switching the whole game up. But that's another lesson for another time. Read it again. He said, what?
My son, in thy sickness be not negligent,
He said, be not negligent. Go ahead.
pray unto the Lord,
Pray unto the Most High. And he will do what? He will make thee whole. Go ahead. Leave off from sin. So you ask yourself, did the devil make you sick, or is the Most High allowing you to be sick? Did your sin cause the sickness? This is conversation that nobody wants to have. I guarantee you, if you just go through our community and add Torah, all mental health, all sickness, all broken marriages, all mental health, depression will leave. It tells you that the law is going away with you. You understand? So that's how you judge yourself. And you have to ask yourself, am I doing something contrary to what the law says? If I am, and something bad has happened, what's the rest of that?
leave off from sin and order thy hands aright, and cleanse thy heart from all wickedness.
Then what else?
Give a sweet savor and a memorial of fine flour.
Then you go to the elders. Now we know that the sacrificial part is over. But then now the Most High said you go to the elders, go to your assembly, give an offering. Oh, why I got to come into it? What that got to do with it? Go ahead.
Make a fat offering, not big as not mean. Then give place to the physician.
Then give place to the doctor. Our people is going to the doctor and then sitting doing the doctor taking that poison for 5 years and then coming to the Most High. What can you do for me? It's over. See? So what happened when that truth come? Start busting. See what I'm saying? We're hustling backwards. The Most High said, the moment that you're sick, you go to me, examine your life. If there's any sin, leave it. Then go to the doctor. You going to the doctor, taking the poison, which is adding more sickness, and you pray for one healing, but not knowing that the medicine that they're giving you is killing you. Our women, they're telling our women to go down and get a mammogram, which is take your breast and let me put radiation to it. 5 years later, oh, I got a blood. I fixed you. You've been allowing them to put radiation to your chest. And then guess what? This is the way we're going to get rid of it. More radiation. Now you got cancer all over your body. In order to prevent that, now I got to cut your breast off. And it then turned breast cancer into like a badge of honor. When all these women walk around with no hair, bald-headed and breastless, it's a badge of honor now with a pink shirt on, not realizing they're killing the women all across the world. And the few that make it, I'm a survivor. No, the survivors are the ones who, when they ain't going down there, they survive the death care center system. That's the survivors. The majority of victims. All of the people that have lost mothers and sisters and wives to a hustle. Old black man get prostate cancer worse than everybody. Let us bend your elbow and shove it in. Oh, later on we found something. I bet you did. How many prostate exams did Abraham get? And people laugh when we say that stuff. But they didn't have any of this. But we got so much modern technology and people are dying. Only in our community. We got to come out of this. We got to come away from these liars. Give me that Job 14 right quick. I was like, what they got to do with it? They just, hey, whatever. Tired of seeing how people suffer, man. You can't tell them nothing. Man, you don't know nothing, you ain't been to nothing. Okay. You ain't got no degree. Okay. Come on. I'm talking about physicians of death. Yeah, I think it's over that. One moment. Let's put Miles against Joe position. Yeah, that's it. Job 13:4. That's it.
all forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value.
Read that again.
Ye are all forgers of lies.
Ye are forgers of lies.
Ye are all physicians of no value.
Physicians of no value. Only death. Now, lastly, go to Matthew 5. For those who may be getting attacked by the devil. Matthew 5 and 10.
Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Read it again, Matthew 5 and 10.
Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake.
Blessed are they that are persecuted for righteousness' sake,
for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So some of you right now are being persecuted, attacked, because you're walking in righteousness. Your family hates you. Your co-workers hate you. People try to trip you up, lying on you, stab you in the back. It's all because of righteousness. Verse 11.
Blessed are ye when men shall revile you.
When men shall what?
Revile you. And persecute you.
And say all manner of evil against you. What? So they're not saying that, hey man, that dude's a liar, and you actually lying. Okay. They're not out here saying, oh man, he out there taking advantage of that girl, and you actually taking advantage. You know that they done added the whole word of hating in there to excuse sin now. Oh man, they hating on me. No, they're telling the truth. Okay? And that's people come out nowadays. When people tell them the truth about what they're doing, oh man, you hating on me. Shalom, Sister Kelly. I don't know why they coming clear on YouTube, man. I don't know why it's not coming clear, y'all. But like sometimes I know it goes in and out. But it sounded clear on our end. I don't know. I don't know. Just stay with me. If there's anything that you need any clarification or precepts or something, we will send it to you. So make sure you let us know if something ain't clear. But I do apologize there. We're going to get that rectified. So read that again, Matthew 5 and 11.
Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
Verse 13. Verse 12. Okay, read it again. I'm sorry, I was reading this question.
Rejoice and be exceedingly glad.
So if these things are happening to you, ladies and gentlemen, you're being attacked for righteousness, he tells us to do what?
Rejoice and be exceedingly glad.
Rejoice and to be exceedingly glad.
For great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
So that's how you know. If you're doing what's right and bad stuff is happening, it's the devil. If you're doing what's wrong and bad stuff is happening, it's the Most High. That's how you know. So that's why we started with 1 Corinthians 11, 31 and 32 to examine yourself. Judge yourself based on the scriptures. And that's what you're doing. You also have to understand that no weapon formed against you will ever prosper. It may look like in a moment that you're losing, but really the Most High setting you up for something great. Can nobody take nothing away from you that the Most High says? Romans 8:31, if God before you, who can be against you? What happens is that we lose sight of that, and then we do something and react to the devil, and then it got us. Okay? Like, for example, when we came into this facility, I told y'all how this gonna look. And everybody was telling us, man, y'all should just walk away. Man, it's like, nah. All of the people that we're gonna get as a result of staying here, we're gonna thug it out. Now y'all hear? They told us, they did what they told us. They say, hey, man, don't spend that money. Hey, just go ahead, just shut it down. Figure something out. I was like, man, no, most of I told us to be here. Now look what happened. And we ain't done. When that committee stay gone, we about to get the whole look. These dudes gonna take off the blue deal rag, you're gonna see what blue fringes and C-sticks on. That's what's about to happen. They don't even know. They don't even know. These guys are walking around every day. They don't know the Most High is about to completely transform this organization. They don't know. But all praise. God hold on. All right? So that was a good question. Now, let's go into this one. Just got a question sent to me. It says, in Matthew 5th chapter, Matthew 19, 7-9, Yahushua asked for Moses, that's Jesus, asked Moses, give permission for putting away their wives with a written enforcement. Jesus said that in that beginning, it wasn't so, and that if by itself, because of fornication, divorcing then being with another is adultery. This, except for the cause of fornication portion, seems to be the only acceptable reason for divorce without adultery. Adultery and fornication, same thing. Fornication only means unlawful sex. So adultery and all those things are counted in fornication. Right? So that same thing when you hear like physical act of fornication as well as spiritual fornication. Spiritual fornication is when you're serving and honoring another God. Okay. All right, so it says, 1 Corinthians 7, 10-11 seems to confirm this when Paul says that Christ commands that if a spouse departs, they should remain unmarried or be reconciled to their spouse. However, 1 Corinthians 7-12, Paul says that the rest he speaks and not Hamashiach will not Christ. It says in verse 13 that if the unbeliever spouse departs, the believer spouse is not bound in such cases. Just give a second cause for divorcing and being free means sinless if one should marry another, even though Paul said not of the Most High, but I. Yeah, it does not. And that's what a lot of people are teaching. It does not. And that's why Paul said this was a counsel. Okay. So you have to understand this. You have to understand that, okay, how can I say this? This is the reason, let's go and get where Paul, where all this starts from. Get Genesis 2 real quick. See, the way the world is today, ladies and gentlemen, is the complete opposite of what the Most High desired for it to be. This is how the whole idea of marriage has been redefined. Where a man can marry a man, a woman can marry a woman, two men and two women can be married. You can marry your dog, you can marry your cat, you can marry your favorite chair or your refrigerator or whatever you want to do. It's facts. It's Sodom and Gomorrah. Where a man can be married to two women and all this, all that. It's pure madness. Pure madness. So get Genesis 2, and verse 20, where a man shall leave his mother and father. Chapter verse. Genesis 2:24.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
Now you know that this had to be a future prophecy, because in Genesis 2, who was alive? Adam and Eve. Did Adam and Eve come from a mother and father? So this wasn't talking about Adam and Eve. This is why I had to correct the pastor one time before he tried to, justify him being married 3 times. No, my brother. No, my brother. That's not the way it works. This is talking about what the Most High wanted for his future nation. That a man shall leave his mother and father, and they shall become one flesh. It's also, ladies and gentlemen, let me put this one out here for free. Now, I know this is gonna shake them up, it's gonna get them really upset with me, but don't be mad at me, be mad at the Most High. When I was told by the Most High back in late 08, 09, that I was called to the board, which is preach, one of the issues that I struggled with was being able to minister to those who are attracted to the same sex. I didn't understand it. But I knew that in order for me to be a pastor, I would have to have the ability in love to minister to all people. So primarily, throughout the years, I would fast and I would seek the Most High about what led people to participate in this act. When I studied and saw that this has been going on, well back in the biblical days, even Israel struggled with that. There was a time that David had to take out a bunch of big tribes because they was going on stuff. Wow. So I know that this has been something that's going on, and the undercover real issue that most people don't want to talk about when it comes to men and women being attracted to the same sex is molestation. Now we know that put stuff in the water to feminize our young men, young girls, it's all kind of traps that they need to play now, but largely, 85 to 90% of the counselors that I've done over the years, the people that are attracted to the same sex, you go down the end of the road, there's some form of molestation. Anyway, long story short, one of the things that the Most High showed me to be able to show beyond a shadow of a doubt that same-sex marriage or same-sex relationships with God the Most High is this verse. Read that again. Genesis 2:34.
Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother,
right?
And shall cleave unto his wife,
right?
They shall be one flesh.
They shall be what? One flesh. There's the body part that was created on a woman, that was created for the body part on a man to enter. And when that man enters into that body part, that part, not only from a spiritual position, but from a physical position, they are one flesh. When two women lay together, they do not have the ability to do it. When two men lay together, the man has to enter into an area which was not created for interest. Thus, we cannot become one flesh. Paul says in Romans the first chapter that man know the Most High by creation of God, leaving no man with excuse. So the fact that he gave a male member and a woman a body part was allowed a male member to enter into, that lets you know that any other act of sex or coming together was not of the Most. You cannot be one flesh. And the second part that he showed me was that it's in Genesis, the first chapter, he said, male and female to go, be fruitful, and multiply. Two men cannot multiply. Two women cannot multiply. And this is completely against what the Most High's will is. Now, back to the statement. When he told Moses to give the children of Israel in the wilderness a written divorce, what did he tell them that they do? Let's go to Matthew 17. like to bring that up. But they like to miss that one part when Yeshaya addresses that. I'll tell you what if I sit this down and I talk without the microphone? I know y'all can hear me, right? What about now? Somebody on YouTube, let me know if y'all can hear me now. Oh, he said perfect. Okay, all praise. All praise. One thing I got blessed with was a big mouth, so I can talk. All right, so let's go to Matthew 17. I want to make sure everybody can hear us. So I can Matthew 19. Let's start there at verse 7. Matter of fact, start at verse 4. Slaki. Verse 3.
And the Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause?
So he was asking him, and the whole purpose of asking that question is not because he wanted to learn, not because he wanted to get an understanding, but he asked that question strictly because he was trying to triple him up. And how did Yeshua answer that question?
And he answered and said unto him, Have you not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female? And he said, For this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man put asunder.
So what the Most High put together, no man should put asunder. That means that when the Most High says that a man and a woman are supposed to be married, shouldn't allow anybody else to come to put asunder. Now, Most High didn't put man and man together. He didn't put woman and woman together. And unfortunately, a lot of the men and women relationships, he didn't put together. That's another lesson for another time. Okay. Definitely didn't call these people to be married. Watch this. Verse 7.
They say unto him, Why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away?
So this is what people like to go to. It's funny that Christian pastors, Christian pastors mostly, now there's some Christian men and women that like to bring this up, but it's mostly Christian pastors that like to bring this up when they've been married multiple times after preaching. Not when they was in the world, as a preacher. When somebody says something about it, then they try to bring this law up, but they'll tell you that the law is done away with. It's always funny. There's two things you can always call a Christian pastor to go back to the law for. Divorce, tithing. Any other time, the law is done away with. That's funny. It's hilarious. Okay? If they want to justify being married over and over, the law says that it gives a right of divorcement. Oh, when we talk about tithes and offering, the law said that you're supposed to tithe and you're going to be cursed with a curse. But you told me the law was done away with. Which one is it, buddy? Another lesson for another time. Now, so they asked the question, did not he give this? And look at the way Yeshua answers it. Verse 8.
He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives, but from the beginning it was not so.
Listen, he did this because he knew if he hadn't, he'd have been finding women up on a rock somewhere, dead. I'm not saying this to be funny. This is a fact. Look on the movies, look on the Lifetime, when you look on the Snapped, and all these other little women shows. When Gentiles, marriages come to an end, they don't go down and file for divorce. They will kill each other. Do they not? Divorce me, man. Why do I have to be divorced? Why do I got to be bludgeoned to death? It don't even always be money. It's just be like, hey, I'm a Catholic and my people don't believe in divorce, so I'm going to kill my wife. But I thought you didn't believe in murder either. and I'll be shunned from the church if I divorce, so I'm going to kill him. Right? Now, so you have to understand that is not what the Most High wanted for people. Okay? Now, read that verse 9.
And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication,
Right?
and shall marry another, committed adultery.
Mm-hmm.
Whoso marrieth her which is put away, doth commit adultery.
See that? A lot of people out here right now are in adultery. Now, I tell people all the time that you have to understand the difference between when you're married in the world and you're married in the truth. So, especially for those right now who are learning, repenting, getting ready to be baptized, what you've done prior to that does not affect your life. You repent, turn your life over, all those things are washed away. So these people who are saying, hey, I'm good, they're going to find out on Judgment Day that they're not. All this, what reconcilable differences, irreconcilable differences, and she gained too much weight, or the money got gone, or I just outgrew her, or she don't really cook the eggs like I like it no more. All this justification for divorce. Hey. No, man. No. Okay. Now, the issue was, the question what she's asking, the young lady's asking, is what Paul has said in 1 Corinthians 7. Does this give us justification for divorce? Let's go to this. So I tell people, ladies and gentlemen, First Corinthians 7. And let's go straight to it, D. Verse 10.
And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord, let not the wife depart from her husband.
Right?
And if she depart, let her remain unmarried or be reconciled to her husband. And let not the husband put away his wife.
So when you're in the truth, when you're married, it's talking about a blood-washed believer. Okay? You can't apply this to people in the world. They ain't submitted to the Most High. This is talking about us and the truth. This is the church right here. This is the assembly. This is the body of Yah, body of Christ right here that he's talking to. He said, if your wife want to leave you, because this is going on right now, a lot right now, as people coming into this truth. This is happening every day. People choosing the Christmas tree over their husband. Okay? They choosing the Easter bunny over their wives. There's women right now that I notice in the truth right now that want to do right, want to raise their children right, but they got a wicked, stiff-necked husband. And they can't even do what they need to do. And I tell them, you got to honor your husband first. You got to stay right with your husband, because if you get out of pocket with that, the Most High not going to bless you. That's when we had to go to 1 Peter 3. It says, you got to love him, treat him right, and let him be warned by your charity. But I know, I got homeboys, I got ops right now, struggling right now. Wife get up every Saturday and cook pork on Saturday, on the Sabbath. Be mad because he won't eat the breakfast. That number one, you ain't supposed to be cooking on the Sabbath, and number two, you cook the pork. I'm telling you. So they're going through it. But he said, don't put them away. You can't use the justification. Let me put this out here too. You're not going to hear this madness coming from us. But for some of y'all that are hard-headed and won't do it like I tell you, stop watching all these other videos. You're going to find some of these Israelite groups out here telling them, say, hey, if your man ain't doing right, you can put him away, we'll give you a righteous husband. I bet there is. I bet they will. And then give you a heart and bubble gum. That's what you're gonna get. Okay? There ain't gonna be nothing righteous about it. You're gonna find yourself another wife, another concubine. Okay? Be careful when you listen to these guys. Anybody telling you to break your house up, they don't love you. Right? Just want to put that out here. So don't put your husband and wife away. But look at what he said, but swear.
But to the rest speak I, not the Lord.
So now Paul is saying, this is my opinion. This is my counsel. What I'm saying here is not a commandment. Go ahead.
If any brother have a wife that believeth not, and she be pleased to dwell with him, let him not put her away.
So this is what I tell the brothers and sisters right now that I just described. You got a husband, you got a wife that's dwelling with you. They don't believe this truth. They don't want to live this truth. But they want to remain married to you. Don't put them away. Why? Go ahead.
And the woman which hath an husband which believeth not, if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him.
Mm-hmm.
For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife,
Right.
and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
Right.
Else were your children unclean, but now are they holy.
Now are they holy. You're giving them a covering by you honoring the Most High. The Most High is going to honor your family. Verse 16. No, I mean, Salaki, verse 15.
If the unbelieving depart,
Right.
let him depart.
Let them go.
A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases, but God has called us to peace.
Right.
But what knowest thou, O wife, whether thou shalt save thy husband,
Mm-hmm.
or knowest thou, O man, whether thou shalt save thy wife?
Mm-hmm.
But as God has distributed to every man, as the Lord has called every one, so let him walk, and so ordain I in all churches.
So Paul will say, listen, you're going to be at peace, and you're not in sin, but he's still not telling you to go and get married to somebody else. Because what Paul said here does not override what Christ said. Okay. That's why he said, I, not the Lord. Because how many people know right now? I know countless situations. I heard a woman testify this a couple of weeks ago on this radio show where she said, I divorced my husband because all he was trying to get me to do was submit and do the things of the Bible. She said, then I was gone for 3 years, came into the truth, and I went back and got my man. Because when she got into the truth and actually started listening, she realized what he was asking or what the Bible told her she's supposed to be doing. But you sitting around watching Oprah and listening to the Young to Fix My Life and listening to all these other witches and warlocks out here, you're going to think, oh man, I'm in bondage. Oh man, this ain't right. Then you get in the Bible and you find out the Most High told you to do this. And it changes. So if the unbeliever depart, that's not a G-pass to go marry somebody else. You keep walking, you keep living, keep being co-parents or whatever the case may be. And hey, you never know that the Most High will bring you back together. And that's really at the end what all you hope to be. But that's for people that's in the truth. Listen, you in the truth now and you was married to somebody when you was in the world, don't wait on that joker, don't wait on her. No. Let them stay. Let the dead bury the dead. No. Let me put that out here. I'm talking about those who came over to the truth and you're dealing with an unrepentant husband or wife. Not when you both was wicked and then now you're going to sit back, well, I'm going to sit and wait in the break. No, you don't know. No. And not this old, I'm starting to read the Bible some now. No. Okay, keep reading. I want to come by for a little Bible study. But come by. The elder said you can come to the church on Tuesday nights. Now, I don't, I work on Tuesday. I ready to come by your house on Thursday. But the elder said call him on Thursday. Hey, no. Do not use the Bible. Let the Bible be used as a pimp method. I just want to study the scriptures. I bet. I know you want to study, but not the scriptures. All right. Man, I've still got some good questions. I say, oh, we just got 1 cent. All right. Hey, brother, can you send me the precepts for the questions about the difference between, oh, that's the question that we already got. Okay. All right. Well, since I got you, I'll make sure you get that. This is talking about something else, not the question that we've already got. She came on late and she missed some of the questions. So I'll make sure she get that. All right. All right, let's keep it going. Why Judah's sons didn't want to have children with Tamar? Why did Judah's sons did not want to have children with their wife Tamar? Now, very good question. Let's go to Genesis 38. Now, some of you that's been in Bible studies in your churches before, you probably came across this in Genesis of the story of the sons not wanting to impregnate the wife. And a lot of times people have heard that, and there's been some interjection in what that meant. But we're gonna get some accuracy. We're gonna get some clarity on this today. We're gonna take you into the testament of the 12 patriarchs, so you can get an understanding of that. You understand? So it can be clear of what that was actually talking about. So let's go into Genesis 38, so we can break down the story real quick, show you what was actually being discussed, and then we're going to give you the answer for it in the 12 patriarchs. Let's go to Genesis 38. And let's start there at verse 3.
And she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name
Now, so what happened was Judah took a wife, a Canaanite wife. We're going to talk about that in a minute. He was never supposed to marry a woman from Canaan. Okay? Her name was Shua. And then he buried him a son, and his son was named what?
And he called his name
Uh-huh.
And she conceived again and bare a son, and she called his name Onan.
Right.
And yet again she conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah.
Mm-hmm.
And he was at Chezib when she bare him.
So now, that's when they was outside. This is when Judah had left from around his people, out here in Canaan, wilding, doing stuff he ain't got no business. Another lesson for another time. We're gonna break down very soon as we go. I think one day we're gonna pick a Shabbat. We're gonna start going through those patriarchs. Maybe a Shabbat a month. Maybe we might. I don't know. We might. I don't know. We'll figure that out. But those 12 patriarchs need to be taught. Because I was talking to my friends today about it, and I was like, yo, what would our community look right now if that 12 patriarchs had been taught? Just Judah's alone, what it would have done for us. You know what I'm saying? But let's look at this, verse 6.
And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar.
Mm-hmm.
And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him.
So right there and there, so we see right there, the Most High said, this dude wicked. Okay, took him out. Now that's why I tell people, you gotta understand how it has handicapped us. Okay. Yeah, but so thought I saw something else. I threw me for a second. I'll tell you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Has handicapped us when we didn't have access to our the rights of our ancestors, of our people, because Genesis is basically an overview of what has happened, of the story. And so, because we didn't have the full story, it left a lot of speculation and guessing and opinions versus truth. So most people, we don't know without these other extra books. We don't know why he was wicked and why the Most High took him out. Watch this. Go ahead.
And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother.
Now, according to the law, if your brother, if you had a son that was married and died before he had a seed to carry on his name, it was left up to the brother, the next son, to take that man's wife, take his brother's wife, and to have a son with him, and for him to be carried on. That son would now be the son of his brother. Okay? This is because you got to understand that we had land, we had resources, we had supplies, all kind of things that was given to us as an inheritance. Judah had land, Simeon had land, all this and this and that. Then when you got individual families amongst Judah, amongst Levi, not Levi, but Simeon and Reuben and all this, there were certain things that belonged to them as well. So if me and Jay's brothers, and I die without having a seed, then the rest of my children and the land that I got, it could get lost. So Jay was charged by the law to go into my wife, have a son, and then everything that I have would be passed on to that son. That was the law, right? So let's see what Onan did.
Verse 9, and Onan knew that the seed should not be his, and it came to pass that when he went unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. Mm-hmm. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also.
So then the Most High took him out too. Now, because people didn't understand what really was going on here, these scriptures right here has been talking about masturbation, or trying to find a way to say this. Well, other forms of basically saying this, that upon completion, upon ending, it had to be inside the woman. That's what I'm saying. So this is the reason why you had, I'm trying to, we all adults here, but I'm trying to make sure people understand because people don't know what this is talking about. Those two different subject matters was talked about. Now we just so happen to have a question on masturbation tonight, so we dealt with that. But the marriage bed is undefiled. I just leave it at that. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. Now, let's go to the Testament. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. I'm tired of people being put in bondage, man. You married, have some fun. Doing it righteous. Okay? All the wicked people, all the fun and the marriage people walk around in bondage. Enjoy yourself. The celebration. All right. That's going to get me in trouble right there. All right, so to get the understanding of what took place here, let's go to the Testaments of Judah. It's called, I would suggest, well, I'm always kind of reluctant to tell people to get certain things because certain people are not in a place that's ready to learn things. So I'm just leaving it at that. Talk to me individually if you want to get this book, and I can kind of, know if based on my relationship with you, if you're ready to go into these other books. When we go into the Testaments of Judah, chapter 6. It's like in chapter 8, verse 3. That's 1 through 3 there. Let's start there.
And I had much cattle, and I had for chief herdsman around the Adullamite. And when I went to him, I saw Harsaba, king of Adullam, and he spake unto us, and he made us a feast. And when I was heated, he gave me his daughter Bathsheba to wife. She bare me Onan, and Selah. And the two of them the Lord smote, for Selah lived, and his children are ye.
So right now, this testament is one that each one of the fathers would write on their deathbed. So he's telling them right now, the Most High killed your two uncles and took them out. You are his children, the ones that are here today. This is the Testament of Judah, chapter 8, 1 through 3. So that's basically what you read in Genesis. But now you about to get the answer to why they actually were killed. Let's go to chapter 10 and start at verse 1.
And after these things, my son took a wife, Tamar, from Mesopotamia, a daughter of Aram.
So Mesopotamia was the area in which the children of Israel, Abraham, originally came from. So Tamar was one of the daughters that he's supposed to be married, those women of that area. So when he made the mistake and married a Canaanite woman, he didn't want the same for his sons. He went and got a woman that she's supposed to be married, that his son's supposed to be married. And look at what happened. Verse 2.
Now was wicked, and he was in need concerning Tamar, because she was not of the land of Canaan.
So he didn't want to marry no righteous woman. He's wicked. He wanted a wicked woman, one like him, like his mama. Go ahead.
And on the third night, an angel of the Lord smote him, and he was not known her according to the evil craftiness of his mother.
Right.
For he did not wish to have children by her in the days of the wedding feast.
Hold on. So what happened was, he never wanted it because his mama told him, like, no, I'm going to get you a woman of Canaan. So all that time, you got to understand, during our heritage, our custom is that the marriage ceremony took place over 7 days. It was a 7-day festival. But during that whole time, he never went into it because he didn't want to be married to it because he was listening to his mom. So the Most High, after the third day happened and he didn't never do nothing, the Most High took him out. Why is this important? Why is this important? Who came from the line of Judah? Mashiach, Christ. All the kings. You and I. This is very important. This is why you're not just supposed to be married to anybody. Oh, she fine. Oh, I like the way that shirt fit on his chest. Oh, he got some money. It's bigger than you. It's very important. Most High took him out. Watch this. Go ahead.
For he did not wish to have children by her. In the days of the wedding feast, I gave Onan to her in marriage, and he also in wickedness knew her not.
So during that time, I'm sorry. So during that time, Onan never went with her. Never went into her well. Why, D?
Though he spent with her a year, and when I threatened him with,
so Pops came in and said, "Boy, it's been a year, boy. You ain't brought no baby here. What's going on?" What happened?
He went up to her, but he still the seed on the ground, according to the command of his mother.
That's what it was talking about in Genesis. So he went and had sex with her, but instead of actually, consummating on the inside, he put it on the ground so that he wouldn't, to guarantee that he wouldn't get her pregnant, because his mama told him to do that. Watch this.
And he also died from wickedness.
The Most High killed him too. This don't sound like that God that I'm telling y'all about it. I said, don't get out of line. That's why I don't play those games, man. Verse 6.
And I wished to give Selah also to her, but his mother did not permit it. But she was wrought evil against Tamar, because she was not of the daughters of Canaan, as she also herself was.
So what happened was, when he was trying to give Tamar to the last son, his wife fought so hard against it, was going to try to kill her, so he could never do that. Now, That's what happened with that. Okay? That's why the sons were took out. They didn't want to have children with Tamar because she wasn't from where they were from. So the Most High took them out. Now we have another question that's in line with that. And it is, why didn't Judah marry Tamar after being with her and discovering her true identity? Now, so what happened was, we find out that eventually, there's a story in Genesis that tells about how Judah being drunk after the death of his wife, because what happens is, if you continue to read on the Testament, and we're going to read this in a second, that the Most High took his wife out. So now that he's being free of that, he went to basically to gather his things, to do his thing, but he was out there wilding, drunk, and he comes across Tamar. You're gonna learn something here. Very wicked practice of the Gentiles. Let's go to chapter 12, verse 1.
And after these things, while Tamar was a widow, she heard after 2 years that I was going up to shear my sheep and adorn herself in bridal array.
Hold on, let me stop you right there, because I got to explain something. So the woman made so big of a deal, his wife Shula made so big of a deal, that he sent Tamar back to her parents. Because if Judah stayed around there, Shula would have killed her. So after 2 years, Tamar gets word to find out that Judah is coming that way and that he's no longer married. And now she does what, D?
Adorned herself in bridal array and sat in the city of Enaim by the gate. For it was a law of the Amorites that she who was about to marry should sit in fornication 7 days by the gate.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear what these Gentiles are doing, man? That if a woman's about to get married, she had to go sit by the gate for 7 days. And I'm open for business. I don't know what dude's gonna marry a woman after that. It's just hard for us to even understand the ways of the Gentiles. All right, go ahead.
Therefore, being drunk with wine, I did not recognize her, and her beauty deceived me.
She was so fine, he's so drunk, he don't even know that this is his former daughter-in-law. Go ahead.
To the fashion of her adorning, and I turned aside to her and said, let me go in unto thee. And she said, what wilt thou give me? And I gave her my staff and my girdle and my diadem of my kingdom in pledge.
Y'all don't even understand. He gave her everything he had. One night. This is why we need to teach this, because I'm telling you, man, you got no understand how our people have been destroyed, specifically the so-called black men, chasing women, money, and being drunk. Destroy us. Watch this. Go ahead.
And I went in unto her, and she conceived. And not knowing what I had done, I wished to slay her, but she privily sent my pledges and put me to shame.
So what happened was, just like always, man doing something he ain't got no business. Now it's coming out, and you want to try to hide what you done by taking her out. This is our father. He's being real. But then she exposed him. What the Most High exposed him, go ahead.
When I called her, I heard also the secret words which I spoke when lying with her in my drunkenness. And I could not slay her because it was from the Lord.
You know, this is from the Most High. Their chance meeting and everything was because of the Most High. To ensure that a right seed would come with Judah and the kings and our Lord and Savior, Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world known to be Jesus Christ, would come from. Because when you read the Testament of Judah, you find out that it almost ended up that Judah had no seed because of the sin, the wickedness that he was doing. That's me. All of us might not have been here. No Savior. This is what I try to tell people. You can't be moved by your flesh. You can't be moved by your lust and just being with any and everybody. You don't understand the plan that the Most High has for your life. This is big. And he got caught up. And this almost destroyed everything. Now the question was, why didn't he marry her after that? Go ahead.
I said, less happily she did it in subtlety, having received a pledge from another woman.
So he tried to say, listen, he thought that I was with another woman. And then she tried to get the stuff from the woman and say you was with me. But there was no way she had the stuff. That proved that he was with Tamar. Watch this.
But I came not again near her while I lived, because I had done this abomination in all Israel.
So he said, I can't ever touch her again. This is why I was with my son's wife. This is an abomination. He said, I can never do this again. That's why he did that. He realized depths of what he had done. He was like, man, wow, I can't never do this again. Y'all see that? And after this, after he got her pregnant, you read on down there, that's when they end up going into Egypt. That's when they later went into Egypt. Joseph. All right. All right. I got one more question, but I'm going to save that for next week. We've been on for a while now, but I will give time for someone, if they're live right now, they have a question. We'll give a few moments. Give a few moments. Not. We're gonna close out for the night. Y'all got that same look every time we get done. I don't know how to feel about this, man. Y'all be looking at me like, man, this is wild, B. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Okay, so her question was, which we've dealt with so many times. We've heard that start come out of so many people's mouths. Some people believe, some Israelites believe that we're not supposed to keep the holy days because we're not in Jerusalem. Let's deal with that. Let's go to Leviticus 23. Read verse 3. Start with verse
2. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest. A holy convocation, ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
In all your where?
In all your dwellings.
No matter where you at, Sabbath, holy days of feast must be kept. No matter where you at, right? Now, get Ruth, the 2nd chapter. I'm gonna find this other verse. Oh yeah. Bring him out. Yeah, break them out real quick. We'll go to Baruch 2 after the break them out. We're going to stay in Leviticus 23 for a minute.
Jump down to 14. And you shall eat neither bread nor parched corn nor green ears until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering to your God. It shall be a statute forever throughout.
It shall be a statute for how long?
Forever. Throughout your generations and all your dwellings.
And all your where?
And all your dwellings.
And this is talking about the Passover as well as the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And all your dwellings. Now, I'm going to tell you what their counter argument would be for that. They're going to say, well, the numbers that say that you're supposed to go to Jerusalem for the Passover, for tabernacles, and for first fruits. That's what they'll say, right? Let's go to Luke, the 2nd chapter. Start at verse 27.
O Lord our God, thou hast dwelt with us after all thy goodness and according to all thy great mercy of God. As thou spakest by the servant Moses in the day when thou didst command him to write thy law before the children of Israel, saying, If you will not hear my voice, surely this very great multitude shall be turned into a small number among the nations where I will scatter them. For I knew that they would not hear me because of these stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves.
In the land of their what?
Captivities. They shall remember themselves.
They shall remember themselves. So he told us, Baruch, that in the land of our captivity, we're going to start remembering who we were. What else is going to happen?
They shall know that I am the Lord their God.
They're going to know what?
I am the Lord their God.
Higher there, most I'll go ahead.
I will give them a heart to hear. They shall praise me in the land of their captivity.
They're going to do what?
Praise me in the land of their captivity.
They will praise me in the where?
Land of their captivity.
When they get back to Jerusalem.
Land of their captivity.
They're going to wait till Christ come back.
Land of their captivity.
They ain't going to do it for a while.
Land of their captivity. And think upon my name.
What's his name? What's his name? Higher. Go ahead.
And return from this neck and from their wicked deeds. They shall remember the way of their fathers.
They're going to do what?
Remember the way of their fathers.
What did their fathers do? What did our fathers do? Kept the laws and the feasts. Go ahead.
Sin before the Lord. And I'll bring them again to the land which I promised with an oath to their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and shall be lords of it, and I will increase them, and they shall diminish.
See that? Y'all see that? So wherever you're at, wherever you are, we can go precept upon precept all night on that. Most I knew we was going to be the land of our captivity. We're going to remember ourselves, and that's when we start serving them now. Let me ask you, I know you won't say this, okay? I'm just making this example for this. What if your boyfriend said, well, hey, I got to move to South Carolina for a while to work this job. I'm going to be faithful as soon as I come back to Waysboro. I ain't in Waysboro right now, so I don't have to be faithful. You know what I'm saying? So right now I'm over here. Anything goes. As soon as I come back to Waysboro, I'm faithful. That's basically what I was telling the Most High. I'll keep the faith days when I get back to Jerusalem. Well, I heard countless people. I know people that when we first came into the truth, they wasn't keeping the feast days. They was like, yeah, we only be able to get back to Jerusalem. Oh yeah, you know, that was on road trip too. You know what I'm saying? People being in the same area code. Yeah. So yeah, we remember him in the land of our captivities, and we got to do it now. And I tell you, man, it's a joy. It's a joy doing these feast days. It's an honor. It's a privilege. The feeling that you get keeping feast days cannot be compared to what we felt when we were serving Christian harvest. It don't even feel the same way. I know when I go into Jubilees and I look in Jubilees and say, on this Sabbath, the angels in heaven and all of heaven is keeping the Sabbath. All of heaven is keeping the Passover. All of heaven is keeping the first fruit. But I can't go in the scriptures and see they all celebrate Thanksgiving. And I was at a funeral. I was at a funeral a couple of years ago, and I heard a guy say that. It was right around Thanksgiving, and he was talking about, yeah, you know, I hate to lose my father, but I know he's doing his first Thanksgiving in heaven. And I can just remember, I know on Christmas, I'm going to be thinking about it, that they all going to be sitting around the table having Christmas in heaven. And I was like, brother, I'm thinking in my mind like, nah, you're not. But you can't tell people that. You can't say that because that's the way they comfort themselves. And I was just sitting there like, man, this is bad. Because they really believe that in heaven, they keeping these pagan holidays. Most High ain't got nothing to do with that stuff. But I can see in the scriptures that when I'm doing the Passover, according to the calendar of the 364 calendar, that on that day, that second Sabbath of the year, all of heaven is doing the Passover at the same time. I know when the sun go down there Friday, what all of heaven is doing and all of Israel is doing at the same time. And Christians can't do that. And the Revelation 2:9 and 3:9 boys can't do that. Because they was keeping a feast day a couple of months ago when all the people got trampled. And I'm still trying to find that feast day. Where's that at? So, it's amazing how Israelites are the only ones that can go in the scriptures and prove what they're doing, but yet we're the only ones that say it's wrong. But everybody else can't prove nothing. You can't even justify through the scriptures anything that you're doing, but we're the ones that they say are wrong. And he told us that it will be that way. When good will be considered evil and evil will be considered good. So, good question. Anything else? We can't do this like we do on Shabbat, though. I don't want to get started at 12:30. We got to go to work. I know I'm probably have to let Facebook and YouTube go. I'm out. They couldn't rock with us how we do on the Sabbath. We here all day. Love it. Worshiping, going through the scripts. So we good? Hallelujah. So we'd like to give Kal Hala, Abba Hayah, by Hashem Yeshaya, for another wonderful time in his presence. We pray and hope that something was said here today that was inspiring, that was empowering. We pray and hope that you feel closer to the Most High. And if there's anything that we can do to assist you and help you along the way, don't ever hesitate to hit us up. We want you to know that we love you, we trust and believe that the Most High loves you more.
Yeah, that's it. He got it. My blue stick. Rose. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't get wicked, Mr. Second. Yeah.
Wrong track, my bad. We definitely don't get wicked to the second.
It's your favorite eye.
We took some skeleton. Thank y'all for joining us tonight. Sister Terry, I got you. I'll make sure I give you that tonight.
Rose. Yeah, back with it.
Back with it. Ask us why we're doing this, D.
Yeah. They ask me where I get it from. That's the love of it. They ask me where I'm coming from. That's the love of it. They ask me where I'm smiling from. That's the love of it. 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 They ask me where I get it from. That's the love of it. They ask me where I'm coming from. That's the love of it. Free up to me, I'm saying by the front door. I've been back row, feel like front row. Little bit, I'm still no time for the macho. No macho. But gotta follow that combination like a nacho. Be good. Yeah, sit back to the boss, I feel like Cabo. Like a Cabo. Yeah, she all up in the color, purple like Hoppo. Like a Hoppo. Most of the pretty need them flags, fresh wings, fresh wings. Baby, as you know, I need to refill, get it, yes, please. Yeah, had to go this one, I had to triple up. Had to eat up the whole plate, not the middle up. I like the middle up. The rough one, they go to a way, never valuable. You never valuable. Whatever the hell is the body, the valuable. Pocket the source for life for Mario. Thanks to your who I grew out the wild coast. But I'm the wild coast. Step in position, I'm ready to do the work. I'm ready to do the work. I woke up the bed, I know what to do the work.
We always say, ladies and gentlemen, continue to be steadfast, unmovable, always about it to the work of the Most High. Love each and every one of you. Rakatah, Kwam Yashrala. Shalom.